Hello fellow noobs, this is a noob on a mobile here. I'm but a noob grandmaster at the game of Risk, looking to grow the game and the community through some interesting and hopefully informative gameplay, and then just doing some downright silly stuff as well. Today we're doing something that's a little bit of both. So we're actually going to look at the final stand, which is a particularly difficult challenge that you can do as a single player on Risk. And then we're going to do something a little bit sillier, and we're going to try and speed run the whole thing later in this video. All right, so the reason this video came about was that I was hanging out on Red Unlock stream. I'll make sure I leave his link in the description below. And Buck came on. Now, he's a top Grandmaster. I'm but a noob Grandmaster. And he showed us a video from about a year ago where he was able to demonstrate how you could consistently beat the final stand. And a lot of what's in this video is really based on that video. I've got one or two minor tweaks. But I'm looking to do something a little bit different in terms of just talking through some of the tips and tricks that you can use to beat that particular challenge that are also useful in other parts of the Risk game. And that's what we're going to be doing today. And then, as I said, we're going to try and speedrun it later as well. All right, so in order to get into the challenge, just make sure that your mode is training down here. And if you hit battle, the final one of the challenges is the final stand. And you can see here that the goal is actually to survive 10 turns. And the difficulty level is insane. And it is true. If you let them go for more than a few turns, they add exponentially more each turn. It is quite a difficult challenge. So the trick is to try and beat them early. How do you do that? Well, this is where the tips from Buck's video become really helpful. Okay. So the first thing you want to know about the zombies is that they'll generally attack if they have double or more of the stack that they're attacking. So for example, here there's a 20 down the bottom and we've got a 10. So particularly given that the zombies will add to themselves in their turn, this is really a threat, as is this position and this position up here. Okay. So what we want to do is we're going to reinforce the positions by one of the positions. You only get to fortify on your first turn here. We're gonna reinforce one of these positions, and it's just a choice as to which one we want to do. This one we're going to let attack because it opens up the 15. That actually helps us later. Now, in terms of which of the other two positions you want to reinforce, if you have a look at the bonuses, you can see that the South Guard continent actually includes this particular square, but the military division one up here does not. So that makes it a pretty easy choice. You want to reinforce the 10 into the South Guard bonus. Okay. So, turning off the continent bonuses, what you do is you add it in there. Okay, and that's your fortification. You can't actually attack on the first turn in this particular challenge. Next, we'll have the zombies will be having their turn. And you can see, as I said, wherever they're more than double, that they're going to attack. But 24 isn't more than double 19, so that we get to hold on to this territory. And as a result, we get 21 bonus troops on our next turn. The question is what to do next. And what you want to do is you want to add all your troops up here. Okay. Then we'll go to the attack phase. And now we need to start thinking about what do we want to do. All right, so we want to actually see if we can get the 15 through this 8. But it might be useful to use this 5 first to soften up the 8. And you've got to try and work out the best way to do that. When you click on a territory that you're attacking, the chance percentage comes up the top that you're actually going to win. So we've got a 54% chance if we blitz. But there are some other options available. We don't actually want to win this territory because we want the 15 to come through. So I think it's useful to think about, okay, well, maybe we can manual roll instead and get this down so that this number over here, which is a useful way of recognizing exactly how many troops are left, we're going to go through and see if we can knock this down a bit. And this comes on to the second really important point about the zombies, is that they're really bad defensively. Normally, when you're attacking a player that isn't a zombie, the defending dice, if they're equal, will result in a win for the defender. But for the zombies, it's the other way around. It actually turns out it's a win for the attacker, and it says that right here. So every time we roll, okay, well the 6s obviously just beat the 1 hands down. 6 and 5 beats as well, but whenever they're equal, what actually happens is the attacker wins. Now we've got it down to 2 troops. So if we attacked with all 3 dice and we won against the defending 2 dice, it would actually win that territory. We don't want to do that. So we want to change it to attacking with just 1 dice for the time being. Okay, 1's less than 4, we lose that. We'll go again. 1's definitely less than 6. 3's still less than 4. 2 is less than 6. Okay, so now we're going to use this 5, and we're going to keep going with the 1 dice. Okay, this isn't very good rolls. Okay, 5 is still losing to a 6. 4 loses to a 5. 3 loses to a 4. Okay, this is a bit embarrassing. Okay, and then we're just going to keep on going. All right, so here comes the next important thing. Do you want to slow roll or blitz? Okay, so when the win percentage is above 50%, the short answer is you want to blitz. If it's below 50%, you want a manual roll. And that's because balance blitz, the way it works, is that it rounds anything up from above 50% to something higher, and anything that's below 50%, balance blitz will round it down to something lower. Okay, so basically, if the percentage chance is above 50, you want to blitz it because it increases your chances of winning. If it's below 50%, and if you have the time, then of course you might want to choose to slow roll it. Now, in this case, it's more than 50%, so we want to blitz it. But there's this curious quirk in the way that the attacks are calculated, is you actually want to attack with the fewest number of troops. If you attack with a lot of troops, for some reason, you can lose a lot of troops. But if you attack with a smaller number of troops, there's actually less troops to lose. So you want to take this down all the way for it to be the minimum 100% chance of winning. So in this case, to beat the 2 territories of the 2 troops of the zombies, we want to attack with just the 3 troops here, down here using the slider. So remember, you just want to go down to the minimum 100% roll using the slider. That's all you really need to know. So let's do that. And we didn't actually lose a troop, which is great. All right, then we want to keep going here. So we've got 14 versus 31. So you slide the slider up until it gets to 100%. In this case, it doesn't get all the way to 100%, but because it's more than 50%, of course, in this case, it's 69%, you want to blitz it. So we want to blitz that there, and you can see we lost 8 troops to beat the zombie horde that was there. Okay. Next, we'll come through with the 26 versus the 8, and again, we want to use the slider. Take it down to the minimum, that's 100%, and attack. We only lost 1 troop there, that's fantastic. And then we come through here, and again, we're going to go to the minimum 100% because the blitz chance of winning is more than 50%. And again, we lose 9 troops to take on the 24. Let's keep going. Oh, and you can see here it's got a blitz win chance. So I've moved the slider all the way up. The blitz win chance is well above 50%. So you do want to attack there. And then you want to come through here with a 19 versus the 46. And again, it's only a 65% chance, so you want to blitz that as well. And we actually lost. So the goal of this first turn is actually to get just this single territory of zombies. That's what you need to do. So we're going to try and defeat this area, this particular territory here, so that it just leaves this one big stack. All right, so we're going to go through and blitz it because the blitz win percentage is more than 50%. So let's go ahead and do that, and we win. Now that we're here, we may as well try and knock this down a bit. Now, the blitz win chance is less than 50%. I'm pretty sure 0 is less than 50. So, of course, what does that mean? We're going to choose to slow roll. And we'll see how many we can knock down from this particular territory. 4s beat the 3s. So far, so good. 4s and 2 lose. Okay. Now, we've still got this territory, so we're going to keep going and attack. Still got the manual roll. So let's keep going. Okay, there we go. There's an example of the 6s that were equal. And yet we won because the zombies lose in a tie. All right, let's keep going. We lost another troop there, and we lost that one there. Okay, so we've now knocked it down a little bit. You don't need to, even if it's a full 53, that's okay. Just try and make it that this stack is the only one remaining for the zombies. You then want to work out what's going to happen next. And the next real interesting thing to remember about the zombies is that they follow a very specific pathing on each map. So in this case, I know that the zombies will path up this way and come through here, and they end up in this corner. And they'd also come through here and end up in this corner if they were allowed. But there's a 5 here. And we know that the zombie stack, we saw it in the last turn, It doesn't move all its troops across. It only moves a little bit. So this 5 will end up being able to hold this position when the zombies get there. Now, as I said, I know that they attack up these 2 wings, but if you give them the chance, they'll go up the middle. So what we actually want to do is end our attack phase and move our fortification up to here. The reason being that the zombies, when they come up this way, they'll get stuck here. If you put the 5 here and fortify in this particular territory, then the zombies will be stuck here. They'll be double this particular one just here, and then they'll come up through the middle of the position. And this is the very minor improvement I had over Buck's video, was he actually puts the fortification in this particular position, whereas I think if you put it up here, then you'll find out that the zombies won't come up the middle. So let's see if that works. We get a card. It's not going to matter in this particular instance because we're going to try and take the zombies out next turn. So I'm going to not fast forward through the zombies' turn here. I'm going to just show you the zombie pathing as it makes its way up towards where we fortified. And this 4 is not more than double the 5. Again, as I said, it goes through this other wing to the position here, breaks our bonus. But again, the 5 holds. And then the zombies refortify amongst themselves. We still get 22 troops, which is fantastic. And we then just need to decide where we put them. You can put them here or here. I don't think it really matters. I'm going to put them here just because we've got to get through this 12. And it's better to have a bigger stack when you're facing a zombie stack rather than a smaller stack. So we're going to keep going here. Now, again, you can probably blitz it this whole way through, particularly because we were able to take some zombies off on the first turn. So what we're going to do here is, again, go down to the minimum troop number. That's 100% blitz win chance up the top here. And fire away. We didn't lose a single troop. That's fantastic. And now, against this big 12 stack, you can see we're only a 17% chance, but that's only because the slider's not fully up. And again, if you take it up to the minimum number that's 100%, we lost 4 troops to take the 12. We've now got to take the 21 versus the 30. Minimum troops, that is 100%, and we win that. 13 versus the 15. We win that as well. And now we're coming up against the 2, which I know only needs 3 troops. There's the minimum 100% roll. And then we didn't even need to use this 5 in the end. May as well go all the way up to the blitz win percentage. But look, let's be precise. Taking it to the minimum, that's 100% roll. And there we go. That's how you beat the zombies in 2 turns. Now, it's not 100%. Sometimes you won't beat the zombies in 2 turns. But again, as long as you can knock them down so that they're just in that one position, it's okay. You just do the same thing again, fortify in the same space, and you'll find that you'll be able to beat them on the next turn after that. So hopefully this helps. We've gone through a couple of things here. We've learned how to use the slider to get to a minimum 100% roll. We've worked out when to use the manual roll or the slow roll versus balanced blitz. It's when it's below or above 50%. And we learn a bit more about how the zombies attack and the fact that they follow very specific pathing. So hopefully that information is useful to you in other forms of the game. If you do want to learn more about how the zombies work, Olive did a great video on how the zombies work in more detail, and in particular working out how many troops they're going to get on each turn. I would definitely recommend you go and watch that video. Again, the link will be in the description. All right. So as a bit of a bonus, I didn't want to just copy and paste what Buck did and just show a minor improvement. I wanted to do something different. I wanted to try and beat the zombies in one go. Yep, that's right. An insanely difficult challenge on Risk. You can do it consistently in 2 or 3 turns, as I said, just here. But I actually wanted to add something a little bit different. As I said, this is just moving towards a slightly silly end of the spectrum. And so I just set myself the challenge of doing it in one attack. But I'm not quite sure when it morphed into something else. But I was looking at some of the other videos where people were having a go at defeating the zombies in one turn. And I could see that there were a number of world records. So at some point in the process, it turned to just providing some bonus content about how to defeat the zombies in one attack. It turned out to be a bit of a speed run to see how quickly I could do it. So I jumped onto Twitch and we tried to have a go at defeating the zombies in one go. And here's a little clip to see what happened. Play the clip. Ready? Here we go. We're going to try and do the final stand, all in one turn. I'm live on Twitch with a few of my Twitch friends, hoping to do the seemingly impossible as they try and distract me. 34 is not bad. I did it! That was a pretty good time. What do we think? Oh, that's not bad for a first attempt. That is not bad. All right, there you have it. I didn't even know if it was really possible to do it in one go, but it is. And in fact, when I first floated the idea on Twitch not too long ago, one of the viewers actually let me know that there's a website that collates these world records. So a big shout out to Finney. Thank you, sir. And if we have a look at that, just very quickly, you can see that speedrun.com, I'll put the link in the description, has a section on Risk, and it goes through all the tutorials just here. If you click on the last one, Final Stand, and click on the PC version, you'll see that a noob on a mobile is now the PC world record holder in the Final Stand speedrun at 16.9 seconds. That's how long it took. Anyway, if you like this content, please drop a like and a subscribe. I'm a new YouTuber. This is actually my first proper video. Please give me whatever feedback you want. Otherwise, come and check us out on Twitch. We have a blast. The community's great, very welcoming. We do some serious gameplay. We do a lot of viewer games. And then we actually do the odd silly meme or two or three. So anyway, come and check us out. We have a blast, and hopefully I'll see you there. But if not, I'll catch you on the next video. Bye.